The room was quiet. Too quiet for what was about to come. Commander Arlen Dax stood before the towering display inside Luna Command, the Earth-Moon Alliance's nerve center. Above him, a holographic image of Earth rotated slowly, serene, beautiful, unaware. Around him, advisors whispered, aides tapped on neuropads, the room thick with apprehension. On the main screen, the transmission from Earth's United Terran Diplomatic Council began. A solemn woman in a navy blue suit stepped forward, her voice unwavering. To the NIGMA Empire, humanity extends a hand. We've observed your expansion. We do not wish for conflict. We propose diplomatic channels, technology exchanges, and mutual understanding. The feed distorted. A burst of guttural screeching filled the air, like metal scraping against bone. The humans flinched. Then silence. The NIGMA had answered. Arlen crossed his arms. That wasn't a reply. That was a warning. General Thane scoffed beside him. You always see fire in the clouds, Dax. Dax didn't answer. He studied the empty black screen, eyes cold and steady. Hours passed. Tension cracked like ice across every command floor from Europa to Mars. Earth's leadership remained convinced the NIGMA wouldn't risk war. Diplomats praised their own restraint. On Mars, mining continued. On Titan, children played under domed skies. Arlen Dax sat in his bunk aboard the Vigilant Storm, flipping through old voice logs. His sister's voice echoed in the silence. When you get back, bring me something stupid from Mars. I don't care if it's a rock, just not red. He didn't smile. The alarm blared. Unidentified mass entries near Earth orbit. The AI announced. Quantum signatures, multiple. 73 confirmed. Dax was already on his feet. Patch me into Earth defense, he ordered. The line didn't connect. At Luna Command, panic screams replaced protocol. Satellites fell silent. Orbital scanners blacked out. Dax raced to the bridge. Outside the port bay, space shimmered. Then they appeared, sleek, dark vessels shaped like talons. NIGMA war cruisers. A flash. Then another. Plasma bursts tore through orbital stations like wet paper. Earth's defense grid, a net of satellites, interceptors, and energy walls, collapsed in under 90 seconds. The first blast hit coastal megacities, Lagos, Shanghai, Buenos Aires. Mushrooming fire swallowed continents. No. He watched the death of a world. Earth's biosphere integrity dropping. 82%. 91%. 98%. The screen cracked mid-sentence. By the 6th hour, Earth was gone. 9 billion lives erased. No surrender demanded. No reason given. Just silence. Dax didn't wait for orders. He activated the emergency protocols locked within every surviving vessel in orbit and on Luna. The Vigilant Storm became the central lifeboat. With its carrier-class engines and AI-assisted docking arms, it latched onto every escape pod it could find, Mars-bound shuttles, research vessels, even broken hulls clinging to life. By the time they left the Sol system, they had rescued just over 80,000 souls, scientists, miners, children, the remnants of dozens of orbital and planetary sites. And the weight of 9 billion ghosts. 2 days later, in deep space beyond Saturn's shadow, Dax stood before the surviving commanders of the Martian and Titan fleets. Admiral Loren, bleeding from his scalp, paced furiously. We should have struck first. Why didn't we? They knew we wouldn't, Dax interrupted. We warned them. They laughed. Then they killed everything. Where do we go now? Asked Director Vaughn of the Europa Archive. Her voice was a hollow whisper. Dax looked around. Shattered men and women. Angry, afraid, broken. We formed something new, he said. A coalition of everyone left. Silence. You want revenge? He asked. Fine. But you'll die alone. If we don't unite, we vanish. Just a few scraps in space, picked off one by one. We survived their cleansing once. We won't get a second chance. They listened. That night, Dax stood alone on the command deck. The stars didn't blink. Earth wasn't visible anymore, not even its ashes. The AI asked quietly, "Would you like to log a message?" He thought of his sister again. Her laughter. Her terrible singing. Her stupid complaints about Martian gravity. No. Instead, he recorded a new log. Day 1. Earth has fallen. The last bastion of humanity lives across cold moons and steel corridors. We were peaceful. We gave them a warning. They answered with fire. Now we burn back. I swear this to every ghost in the dark, the NIGMA Empire will remember us. Even if they don't survive to tell anyone else. He shut off the recorder. Then, in a whisper only the stars could hear. Let extinction be mutual. 2 years after Earth's fall, silence no longer blanketed the void. Humanity had begun to whisper back. Commander Arlen Dax stood on the obsidian deck of the Vigilant Storm, his gaze locked on a planet below, Erebus, a Mars shadow colony carved into the crust of a dead world. What began as a mining outpost was now the core forge of the Resistance. Engines howled beneath its surface. The heat of ambition and anger churned in its black veins. Behind him, the massive fleet bay opened. Dozens of Terran vessels floated in dry dock, sleek, sharpened hulls, matte black armor, weapons invisible to conventional scans. No flags, no call signs. The Ember fleet was not meant to be seen. Only remembered. "You've done it," murmured Admiral Loren as he approached. "You've built a war machine." Dax didn't turn. "I didn't build anything. Humanity did. I just gave them somewhere to put it." The Terran coalition hadn't formed out of ideology, it was survival. Mars, Titan, Europa, the Belt colonies, even rogue ships from fringe sectors had bent toward a single truth: they either fought together or vanished alone. What bound them wasn't hope. It was loss. The fleet was proof of that loss. Hundreds of vessels, each different. Titanian ion-laced plasma rigs, Martian corvettes with railgun turrets, Europa's bio-integrated stealth ships. A chaotic orchestra restructured into a single symphony of war. But it wasn't enough to have ships. They needed a message. Dax walked into the newly built War Council chamber buried beneath Erebus. The room was half mechanical, half human, an AI-augmented strategy core fed by battlefield simulations, encrypted data, and living advisors. Around the circular table sat leaders from across the system, scarred, skeptical, armed. The coalition's unity was still fragile. "You summoned us," Director Vaughn said, ever composed. "You promised something more than survival." "I did," Dax replied. He touched the display. A three-dimensional star map illuminated the chamber, highlighting 7 key NIGMA installations across 3 sectors. Fuel depots. Communications nodes. Prison satellites. "What is this?" growled General Kale from the Titan militias. "A fire starter," Dax said. "We hit them hard, fast, and everywhere at once. We show them they didn't kill us. They woke us. Too risky. We lose this fleet, we lose everything." Kale snapped. Dax looked around the room. "We're not hiding behind shields anymore. If you came here to preserve your colony, leave. If you came to preserve humanity, then help me make sure this fleet becomes a myth." The silence afterward was long, but not resistant. Vaughn nodded. "What's the name of the operation?" Dax answered without hesitation. "Ash Wake." In Erebus Shipyard Alpha, Dax inspected the last asset of his plan, a ship the size of a skyscraper, cloaked in black skin armor, housing quantum railgun arrays and AI stealth fields. The TCS Revenant. Beside it stood a group of operatives, humans, hybrids, and something else. Each carried the burn of war behind their eyes. "The Black Suns?" said Commander Elaine Rowe, stepping forward. "Every one of them lost everything." Dax nodded. "Then they'll do what no one else will." 1 week later, the Ember fleet scattered. Small strike groups exited Erebus through hidden wormholes constructed by AI-linked jump beacons. The fleet vanished without trace, their signals ghosts in the dark. Dax didn't go with them. He waited. The first strike came in the Doral system, deep in NIGMA space. 3 war cruisers were docked over a gas giant, harvesting energy. The Revenant entered low orbit cloaked. One shot from its quantum railgun split the lead cruiser in half. Another pierced the second's core. The third tried to run. It didn't make it. Black Sun's operatives deployed in zero-G, hijacked the station, and siphoned terabytes of encrypted intel before planting a singularity bomb in its reactor. 17 minutes later, nothing remained of Doro but debris. No signal had escaped. No distress call made it out. NIGMA forces hadn't seen the fleet, only the aftermath. Back on Erebus, Dax stood in the chamber of the fallen. A small hall filled with fragments from Earth, a burned chess piece, a cracked Martian soil sample, a rusted wedding ring. Ro approached quietly. Transmission decrypted. We have their attention. Dax didn't respond. We also have a response. She held out a data rod. Dax inserted it into the core console. A screen flickered to life. Overlord Kai Valor appeared, elegant in NIGMA ceremonial armor, his scaled skin faintly iridescent, his expression relaxed. He spoke slowly, words dripping with disdain. We assumed your kind had extinguished yourselves in fire. A miscalculation. But one easily corrected. You are not a threat, you are embers clinging to ashes. Enjoy your last breath, primitives. The message cut. Ro looked at Dax. He's not taking us seriously. Not yet, Dax said. But he will. That night, Dax opened a private log. Phase 1 complete. Doro fell without a whisper. The other sectors will follow. Our strength lies not in numbers, but purpose. They expect vengeance. They don't expect strategy. Every strike is a message, you missed your target. We are alive. And we are done asking for mercy. He paused. This war isn't about victory. It's about memory. They'll remember Earth not as a grave, but as a spark. He shut the log. Above Erebus, the Ember Fleet shimmered like distant stars, watching, waiting, ready. The first time Arlen Dax saw Kreltar, it looked like a graveyard of suns. The planet's surface was scorched, canyons carved by industrial lasers, oceans reduced to black sludge. Every orbiting satellite buzzed with NIGMA patrols. It was no longer a world. It was a furnace for bodies. Inside the war room aboard the Vigilant Storm, Commander Rose zoomed in on orbital scans. Rows of factory cities stretched for hundreds of kilometers, surrounded by containment fields. Inside, thousands of prisoners, non-human, non-compliant, non-NIGMA. We have confirmation, she said, tapping a red marker. Sector 7 hosts Dravari cells. Civilians. Children. Dax's eyes narrowed. Then we're not just sending a message. We're breaking their chains. Hours later, Black Suns deployed. Their descent through Kreltar's atmosphere was silent. Each drop pod folded between gravitational spikes, evading sensors with AI-calculated velocity shifts. The mission was clear: disable the orbital relay, extract the Dravari, and destroy the labor network before the enemy could react. Rose pods slammed into the west ridge. In seconds, the suns were moving, mech frames unfolding from compact cores, armor cloaked by thermoptic layers. Below them, the work zones glowed with white-hot plasma. NIGMA overseers barked in clicks and commands. The Dravari moved like shadows, hollow, starved, barely alive. Confirmed visuals, said Ro through comms. Initiating breach. The first explosion shattered a control tower. Then another. Lights died. Sirens followed. In less than 5 minutes, the prison's outer defenses collapsed. The suns surged forward, their weapons silent but surgical. Every shot counted. No alarms spread off-world. No message escaped the system. Dax watched the footage live from orbit. It wasn't just a rescue. It was defiance made manifest. Prepare the extraction bays, he ordered. Shuttles dropped through clouds, their hulls gleaming as they retrieved the wounded, the broken, and the forgotten. Among them, the Dravari. Inside the medbay, Dax approached the first survivor, a tall, biomechanical being with pale silver skin laced with faint glowing veins. It blinked with slow precision, its voice barely more than a vibration. "You are not ghosts," it said. "We're worse," Dax replied. The Dravari's leader, HFY, stood shakily. "We thought your kind had vanished." "Only Earth did," said Dax. "We're still here. And we remember everything." Val's voice deepened. "You came for us. We came for justice." Later, in the Central Strategy Chamber, HFY stood before the fleet's command council. "We have fought the NIGMA before. Alone. We lost. But our neural lattice has retained memories of their war patterns, fleet formations, command signatures. We will share them freely." "What do you want in return?" asked Admiral Lauren. Val paused. "Vengeance. The kind that buries their name in silence." Dax didn't hesitate. "You have it." The next campaign was bold, too bold by traditional standards. The Tyrock fields were deep in enemy territory, heavily patrolled and rich with raw resources. Taking them would cost blood. Holding them would be nearly impossible. Dax didn't plan to hold them. He planned to break them. The Ember fleet split into two. The Vigilant Storm and half the Mars and Titan contingents emerged from a blind jump in Sector 9, pulling NIGMA forces away. The rest, led by the TCS Revenant, plunged into the Tyrock fields undetected. In open space, dozens of NIGMA warbeasts waited, hulking cruisers, clawed and pulsing with energy. Dax stood on the bridge. "Initiate engagement pattern Zeta 4. Pinch their center. Don't destroy, disorient." On command, human ships danced between asteroids and solar debris, their AI cores adjusting speed, spin, and shield modulation in real time. The NIGMA ships responded late, trained for brute force, not elegance. Then the railguns fired. Blue light shredded the enemy vanguard. EMP shells followed, disabling 3 capital ships in seconds. The Black Suns boarded another from stealth pods, tearing into its core. Overlord Kai Valor watched the battle from afar aboard the Zartor. The reports flooded in. Ship after ship lost. Attacks unpredictable. Targets untraceable. "They are scattered," Kai Val hissed. They were scattered. General VTH approached slowly. "This fleet is unified. And it fights as one. We have no explanation." Kai Val turned on him. "You said Earth was dust. You said the humans were gone." Kai Val silenced him with a gesture. "Prepare the Narcale Guard. No more delays. We finish this." Back in orbit, the Terran fleet didn't celebrate. They didn't have time. Sensors pinged. A high-band encrypted transmission pierced the silence. NIGMA internal. A rare breach. Dax ordered it translated. On screen, Kai Val's face filled the chamber. He spoke in perfect Terran standard. "You claw from the shadows like vermin. You still believe you matter. Earth was your gift to the stars, ashes carried by wind. You are ghosts in a galaxy that moved on." Dax leaned forward. "Reply," he said. His voice carried not rage, not bitterness, just absolute clarity. "You thought we died. You thought wrong. We warned you. Now we answer." In the days that followed, the ripple effect spread. 10 systems erupted in rebellion. NIGMA outposts reported uprisings. Dravari, Mashari, even enslaved factions within the Empire began resisting. A myth was forming, traveling faster than light. The humans returned. And they came with fire. Within the corridors of the NIGMA High Command, whispers grew. Kai Val's admirals began to fear him less than the idea of Dax. There was talk of mutiny. Of pulling back. Of remembering the warning Earth had once given. Kai Val doubled security. Paranoia seeped into every order. In the silence of deep space, the Vigilant Storm hovered like a phantom. Dax watched the rebellion unfold across 1,000 fragmented data feeds. Commander Rose stood beside him. "Everything's shifting," she said. "They're cracking." "Not enough," Dax murmured. "Not yet. What's the next move?" He didn't look at her. "We burn their name from the stars.